need you to really sit down and be able to pay attention to this video. So listen up. In the scriptures, we are called to walk by faith and not by sight. While it's a common term, yesterday I realized that it is a very real thing you're going to have to do. And there's a lot of things that God might have you give up, and He will break you in ways that you never thought you could be broken. When you accept Christ into your life and make a commitment to follow Him by denying yourself, you open a pathway for, while it may be a more better, fulfilling, and fruitful life, it's also a conversion at the end of the day. So there's going to be certain things that were part of your old life, of your flesh, that are not going to be able to pass through that cross. And it will hurt. You probably will cry. And I'm just telling you the truth, because this walk, lots of people try to walk on eggshells. Lots of people try to comfort you with pillows. I'm not here to do that. God will break you. It will be painful. But I want to remind you that everything He does is with intention and for a greater purpose. And at the core of all of it, it is rooted in love. In John chapter 15, Jesus says, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, He takes away. And every branch that bears fruit, He prunes that it may bear more fruit." Jesus is speaking about a very real process when it comes to plants. Pruning is a process where a certain part of a plant is intentionally cut off, removed, so that the plant is able to bear more fruit. Jesus is literally using this literal example for our spiritual lives. When God takes something away, when God removes something from your life, whether it's permanently or temporary, it is for the purpose of bearing more fruit in your life. Or another way of putting it, taking away what's hindering you from growing to step in what He has called you to do to fulfill the ultimate mission of bringing souls to Christ. Because it is very important that we look outside of ourselves. Your relationship with God is personal, but it is not exclusive. At the end of the day, Jesus came to die for everybody. You, me, your grandma, your neighbor down the street, so that nobody will go to hell, but through Him, if they believe, would be saved and receive the gift of eternal salvation. Because it says in the Word, Old Testament, which I think is Ezekiel 33:11, that God does not wish for the wicked to perish. He wants everybody to come to repentance. He does not take delight when wicked people perish, because He knows where they're going to go because they weren't with Him. So that's why it is so important that we look outside of ourselves and realize what our purpose actually is at the end of the day. And that's the same realization Jesus had to remind Himself in the Garden of Gethsemane. The weight of dying for the sins of the world, being tortured and then hanged on a cross, became so heavy at a point that He begged for it to be taken away from Him. But He said, nonetheless, not my will, because I would rather not go through that. But Father, I know who You are. I know how deeply Your love runs. I know what You have sent me for. So in accordance with You, I will go through this, because I know that You will give me the strength to do so. Because ultimately, yes, God calls you to do certain things. But at the same time, remember that He knows you. He knew everything you were going to go through, every reaction, everything. So even though He called you, He knows how you were going to first react. And He understands, because He's your Father. But at the same time, because He's your Father, He says, I know that this is going to be uncomfortable, but I still expect your obedience because this is something only you can do. There is a certain harvest that you can reap once you've sown into, because God has made all of us with unique capabilities that are different from everyone else. You may have the same assignment as somebody, but because of how God uniquely developed you, you will reap different results. You may be able to reach certain people that another person can't reach. So in other words, one body, many people, but God has still found a way to say that you have a purpose in all of this. So there is meaning in your suffering, and it is all rooted in the potential that He has put on the inside of you. But you're only going to have the strength to walk in that if you are confident in your identity, because you trust in who He is and what He has said about you. And that is how your faith is refined in the fire. So, sum it all up, bro. Living by faith is going to require you sometimes to trust God when you genuinely cannot see what's the point of it. There's going to be times that the only thing you can do is trust in who He has revealed Himself to be. And the more you choose to sacrifice, the more you choose to surrender your will and follow His. And I realized this on a way deeper level today in my own life. That's when you'll truly be able to see the character and love of God flow into your life. And you will see things that you never even saw before. And though He may be silent, there's not a single time where God has stopped working, that He has stopped being near you, and that He has ever left you. So, I hope this video helped you and edified you in some way, shape, or form. And I hope you have the great rest of your day, night, evening, whenever you may be watching this. And until next time, God bless.